inspiration from. So we found this girl last year in California. Great look. And we just thought how amazing how we could take her fringe shorter, really bring out those eyes, make the fringe wider. It brings out the cheekbone, brings it out, and then if you go wider again, what does it do? It brings out the jawline. Then you start to see the neck. So if you've got a client with the perfect face shape, you want to show off the good assets. Unfortunately, if you've got a client who hasn't got the great assets, then you might go maybe not as strong, maybe a little bit longer, a little bit softer, maybe not as wide. All right, so you're taking those into consideration. But we just felt this look really suited this model. Great hair texture, more on that kind of normal to fine density. Okay, you could work on curly hair, this haircut as well. We might leave it a little bit longer because we feel like going into 2020 instead of 2019 for this collection, moving forward, we feel like where you're seeing a big trend at the moment is getting a bit more length going on at the back. So it's got a bit more mullety in a way. So in this case, what we did, we made it a bit more A-line through the back, and then we worked a really strong focal point is the fringe. And then it just layered through the top. Okay? So, Gloria, I can just give you that back, and then we can literally just crack on. Thanks, darling. If any of you've got any questions, please feel free, ask away. Just to save timing, guys, we've obviously worked on our mannequin already by sectioning it off. So, if you're writing notes down, you're doing a head sheet, or you want to understand this haircut, the best thing to do really is to put a centre parting in first. So centre from forehead all the way down to the nape. Okay, so you're basically subdividing the hair into two. Then you literally go onto the side and you literally work in a radial parting. And what a radial parting is literally going from the top of the crown, so where the head starts to curve down. So you can see if I put the comb flat on my mannequin's head, where the head starts to curve, yeah, I'm literally working slightly diagonal, so it's not vertical like the comb is, it's slightly diagonal, okay? And I call that a radial parting, so it goes from ear all the way through the crown to the opposite side to the ear, all right? Then I subdivide the hair into two that way, okay? Then, what I will have then, I will have four elements, because I'll have the centre parting, the radial, so I'll have 4 blocks. And then what I do then, I work in a little triangle section. So I carve out in front of the crown, a diagonal back section and a diagonal back section to create a large diamond. How big you take this diamond depends on the density of your client's hair. So thicker hair, bigger diamond. Finer hair, smaller diamond. Working on curly hair, yeah, and it's a little bit thicker or something, you can go bigger or whatever. So again, it's mainly decided if it's, you're not thinking about straight or smooth or curly, you're thinking of the density. So if it's thicker or finer, then thicker hair, bigger, finer hair, smaller, okay? And you literally place it in a triangle section, okay? So the triangle from the center, diagonally back to the radial. Okay, so if you can see on a profile there, you can see that nice on a profile. You've got a diagonal back, flip that top out the way. Okay, so then we go into the back area. Again, working from the radial, instead of going into a point, it's a little bit more rounded. Okay, so some people have, before we came on camera, Willie even said, is that a diamond? It could be a diamond. If you wanted to go through more of a point, you could do it. But what we did here, we made it more rounder through the back, so softer. Because I don't want to have a tail in here, all right? I don't want to have a tail, all right? So I don't want to go into a diamond and create a tail or any length. So in this case, I've worked it more rounded, okay, for more softness, okay? So it's going from the radial, and then you're just working more of a curvature section underneath the crown, above the occipital bone. So think about a real client, you feel where the O bone is, and you'd be above the bone. And then you clip out the crown, okay? So what you've got there is a section through the front, a section through the back, clipped out the way, and then what I've done to make it look tidy on camera, I've just clipped out the nape as well, all right? So in a way, I've got 1, 2, 3, and then I've got 4, which is the front section, okay? And I hope everyone's got that, all right? I hope we're all good. All right, so now we're going to crack on with the haircut. We're going to start with the front, the shortest part of the haircut, okay? So the shortest part of the haircut is the front because it's a mullet. So we're opening up the face, okay? So I'm going to literally work through the front. I'm just going to get probably another clip if I've got one. Yeah, perfect. I think clips are the hardest things to find in a salon. So it's hard to find maybe 1 or 2 clips, never mind that many. All right, so what you do then, I'll just push that over to one side. And then what I'm going to do now, I'm going to work parallel to the parting. All right, so you see my parting is diagonal back. I'm going to do the same here. I'm just going to work diagonal back, parallel, all the way up till I eventually get to that parting. Okay, so we're going to now work diagonal back sections because a section is what you cut. A parting is what you part and take out the way. So this is a parting, but now we're going to take a section. So we're going to work into the nape, into the temple area. So just in that temple area, we're just going to grab that hair, twist it out the way, come around on the profile so you can have a better look. See, so you just literally diagonal, so you're going to mirror all the way up. All right, and then let's have a look and see what's the best angle for everybody. So we're combing down to natural fall. So they elevate my distribution, the way I'm combing the hair. So the way I'm not going to comb it forward, I'm going to comb it down to its natural fall. All right, so natural fall where the hair wants to grow. So don't be very tempted to start to comb too far forward. We want to be natural fall here, but then by the time you're coming round into the front, natural fall will be round here. Okay, it won't be over directed. So this is natural fall where the comb is there, and then this will be natural fall, and then it'll be coming over, eventually be coming over one eye. But at the moment, you know, obviously I'm coming over the ear. All right, so natural fall. My elevation, the elevation is going to be 1 finger's depth. All right, so I'm going to put my finger basically on the skin or on in this case the plastic. All right, I want to have a strong outline. All right, so I want a strong outline, and I'm going to cut it parallel to the parting. So let's crack on. All right, so you can have a look and see how we're doing it. All right, so how short you take it all comes down to your consultation. So you talk to your client and you say, what's your likes, what's your dislikes? You know, if you were on here yesterday, you would have heard me turn around and say, how do I do a consultation? I always ask 3 questions when I do a consultation. Even when I'm doing photo shoots, models, you know, clients behind the chair, you know, friends even. You know, friends sometimes are the worst because they, you know, they want everything. All right. So for me, you know, my question would be is, what do you love about your hair? What do you hate about your hair? And also, what products are you using on your hair? So they're the 3 key questions I use when I'm doing a consultation.
Anthony,
because if I turn around to a client and say, hey, do you want layers? And she goes, yes. As we're all professional hairdressers watching this, what kind of layers? Square, round, short, long? Okay.
Question?
Question? Yeah.
can you come a little closer, please?
Closer?
Can you move closer to the camera,
Yeah, of course.
please? Thank you.
Thanks, Willie, for being there, because obviously you see better than me, and everyone want to make sure everyone's happy.
Is this better?
They'll tell me. It looks better to me, yes. I think the closer the better without being uncomfortable for either of you.
Okay. Here we go. Like that?
Now it's like I'm in there with you. Thank you.
Okay. All right, so everything's down to natural fall, blunt cutting, so it's all blunt. Okay, it's down to natural fall. Yeah, and then what you'll start to see is then you start to build up a weight line, and then this little bit of hair below, you might have noticed what I did a little bit. I did a little bit of scissor over comb. Okay, just a little bit of scissor over comb. Again, this is personal. If the client likes a bit of softness, but you want to keep it like keywords like, I want to keep it feminine. I want to look like a girl. I don't want to look like a boy. I don't want it too strong. Then all of a sudden, you might leave this a little bit longer and a bit wispier. And then if the client goes, oh, I hate it on my ear, take it off. Then literally just buzz it off or use a clipper or scissor over comb, because you can even do skin here, just that little bit there. You can take that right off and then create a nice little weight line even more. So the shorter you take it, that weight line is going to pop out even more. Okay. And then what we're going to do now, just going to continue. Now we're going to start to introduce more of this front section here. So we'll just go diagonal back. And then you just comb that over the face, and then we'll just kill it that out of the way. And then you can start to see, look, we're going to introduce something over her eye. All right, so you're just combing down to natural fall again. Blunt cut. Natural fall. Like so. And then just stepping round. And then it all comes down to how short you wanted the fringe. So if you saw the image earlier, it was way above her eyebrows. She didn't have any eyebrows on either. So we'll show you the image again later. All right, just when we recap. But, you know, how short you take this fringe, again, it all comes down to your consultation. Yeah, and especially if they've got any movements, they've got any, you know, she's got a whirl or a widow's peak or a cowlick. You know, you'd have to take all that into consideration. You can't go too short and then it's like, hi, surprise. You know, and then there's all of a sudden a big jump, or it's not going to sit right. Okay? Okay, and then our last section, just combing down. Go back on a profile. Like that, get nice and close so everyone can see. You feel like you're in our living room. All right, so coming down, see the guideline, nice and blunt. Natural fall, like we said, cutting parallel to the parting. So your parting is diagonal, your fingers are diagonal, and you're cutting at a 1 finger's depth of elevation, okay? If you wanted to elevate away further, then it's just creating a softer line. So, you know, like I said earlier, you could do this on curly hair, but what I would change if it was curly, my elevation would go a little bit higher like that. Oh, sorry, love. All right, so my elevation would go a bit higher like that. Why? It's because by the time it falls down, it's going to be a little bit softer. All right, so higher elevation is going to create that line a bit looser and a bit more broken up. But because we're working on more of a straighter look and it's smoother, and you know, the client likes it blow dried straight and she wants a strong, edgy look, then you can get away with the lower elevation to create a bit more of a weight line. Okay, so there we have it. That's our first side done. As you can see, diagonal, working round into the fringe, okay? And then we're going to do exactly the same on the opposite side. If you feel like, oh, this is a little bit tricky now, getting the opposite side the same, you could do one section, like say, for example, in that temple area, diagonal back, and then you would have done the same on the opposite side and got the perfect balance. If you feel like, oh, I feel like I want to get the balance right on both sides, then it might have been better to just do one section on the opposite side, check the balance, and then you could do alternate to just make sure. Again, I'm not here to dictate, guys, you know, I'm just here to share a new shape, something new, something fresh, you know, from our collection. If you want to approach it maybe a different way, that's up to you. Perfect. That's what I love about, you know, creativity haircuts. There's lots of ways of approaching it, and everyone's got different opinions, and that's good. Never change, because what you see and what I see are always going to be slightly different. Okay, and that's why clients go to different hairdressers in the salon. All right, because it comes down to taste, suitability. Do I like that person? Does that hairdresser cut my hair well? Yeah. So everybody has their own kind of favorites. So going diagonal backs again. Okay, so in a way, I've done probably like 4 sections. So I've got 1, 2, and then I'm going to split this one in a moment into another 2. But some of your experienced hairdressers watching, you might get away with doing this in like 2 sections. Like I said before, you know, once you know the rules, you tweak them. Some people say they break them, but I like to tweak them a little bit. Okay. And then we just split that diagonal right in half, start introducing that front section now. So what you're doing now, you're connecting the fringe in with the opposite side. Okay. Also, if you wanted to go a little bit creativity and you wanted to do this asymmetric, okay, client said, look, I don't want a bowl fringe. I don't want it where it's like rounded. I don't want it too bowly. I don't want to feel like, you know, it's just all round and the same length. Then you could have done it slightly asymmetric. Could have done one side longer, one side slightly shorter. Okay, and then that's putting your signature on it, not mine. That makes it your haircut, not my haircut. Okay, so these are little tiny tricks. And I think it's always nice to know where you can take the haircut in 6 weeks. Because when we teach people these haircuts on our classes, we don't just say, oh, where's one haircut, there's 2 haircuts, good luck, go and do them in the salon. We talk about, okay, when the client comes back in 6 to 8 weeks, yeah, what could be changed? Because that's what's more creative. It's okay, like this lady's had this haircut now for 6 weeks, and she loves it, and all her friends have enjoyed it. Her partner loves it, but all of a sudden, she's like, I want to change. How can I change it? What can I do next? And I think that's where it's more challenging. So how could you change it? Going longer, going shorter, going slightly asymmetric, maybe chop into this weight line a little bit more, make it a bit looser, add some colour. You know, how do you make more money behind the chair? You know, upsell. Okay, so upsell by introducing maybe some colour. Okay, so again, all natural fall, stepping around the front. Hopefully everybody's there good. And then sometimes you might have like a little point because of the sectioning pattern going into like a little triangle. And then you just knock off anything from there. Okay, so we're just literally just stepping around. Just want to just check, make sure we're happy with the overall shape. And then if you feel like you've got a bit of graduation in there because of your fingers, you could obviously go in and point cut this. You could go in and do some personalizing, you know, like customizing. So what you see, you know, some of you might go in and go, I just want to go in and break this up even more. Some of you might want to break that weight line up. Again, that's personal choice. I want to emphasize that weight line a bit more. So I'm just going to put my comb in, scoop it out, and then just emphasize that weight line a little bit more, like so. Comb that down. And then I just want to make sure this fringe is sitting right, especially on a mannequin.
Edge, how many sections do you have total when you started that haircut?
On this haircut, how many sections will I have? 3. Because what will happen, this is one section which will be connected. Yeah, this is going to be layered. So this section here, which is the diamond, and then the little circle, the little curve section, this will be all connected and will be layered. This is the fringe, okay, which is the front, and then the back will be left long. So 3 sections. But when we clipped it all out, it looked like there was 4. If that makes sense.
Thank you.
Yeah. So it's just literally 3 sections. I'm a big believer that you don't have to do 15 sections and then all of a sudden you do 15 sections, do it all, and then all of a sudden you think, wow, I've gone the long way around. With our education, we're always big believers of like, how can you make something really cool, but do it the quickest way? Okay, so that's your little fringe done. Okay, so you've got a nice little bowly little fringe. Okay, going through there. Again, if you wanted to layer this, you wanted to chop into this, this is again personal choice, up to you. All right, but we've literally worked on like a little rounded fringe. You can start to see it's going all the way to the top of the ear. So you're going to create that kind of mullety feeling, because by the time I take this one out now, all of a sudden you can start to see that you've got that mullet shape. Yeah, and back in my era, because I'm showing my age here, this is really cool. All right, if I was at school, I would have had this haircut back in the early 80s. I would have had a back perm. I would have permed this and had it all permed, and then that would have been my haircut back in the 80s. Okay. So again, it's taste. How long? How short do you? How long do you leave this? How disconnected and stuff like that. I'm not going to leave it this long. Okay. So what we're going to do now, we're just literally going to work in a vertical section through the back. Okay, and we're going to create something like an A-line feeling for this back area now. All right, so we've finished the front, and now we're going to work an A-line. We're going to take it shorter in the center, and then we're going to pull everything into the middle. So if that makes sense, this is going to be shorter, and then everything comes into that middle. Okay, so I'll show you how to do that. We're just going to work on a vertical graduation. Okay, so everything on the base. I want to take it short, so I don't want to leave it I don't want to leave this long, and by the time it over directs, I've got real long wings. All right, so what I'm going to do, just before I cut it, I'm going to grab a bit of hair, over direct it, and see how much length I'm going to be maintaining. Does that make sense to everybody? So look, if you want to, say for example, the client said, I want to leave all this length, I really want to leave it long. So you use that guide as your guide, and then there you go, I can cut that much off to maintain more length. I don't want to leave all that length, so I want to go shorter. I want to grab that hair, see that. I want to give it a bit A-line, so I'm happy with that kind of length. I'm going to work it out at 90 from the head, blunt. So you've got one section on the base, 490. Take it really tight, yeah. Again, personal choice. What you see and what I see are always going to be different. Okay, so 90 from the head. So this one is distribution is 90, elevation is 90, and cutting it as a vertical graduation. So just cutting it vertically. And then what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to over direct all that hair into that middle. Well, that's too big. So I've got to subdivide. Yeah, subdivide. And then I'll over direct into the middle. If that's too much hair, then maybe subdivide again. All right, so you know, if you can see the guideline, then cut it. If you cannot see this guideline, take a smaller section. All right, don't guess your guideline. All right, so then everything over to the center. Okay, and then same, combing away. So I'm combing away from that ear, and I'm combing into the middle. Into the middle, okay, and then all blunt, 90, 90, okay, and then over directing. So it's 90 to over directing. So traveling, yeah, I know that's what a lot of terminology in America is you know, with traveling guideline, okay, or over directing, whatever terminology you want to use. Everybody's been to different classes. It's in different educators, different brands. You get different kind of terminology. Sometimes too much terminology can be a little bit misleading as well, because you're like, I don't know which way I'm doing it. All right. So what we've done there is shorter, and we've pulled everything into the middle. All right. So you can see that we've got length there now. But as you can see on the opposite side, I've cut some of it off. Again, if you liked it more mullety and you wanted to go more of the 70s and the 80s, then you just leave it longer and then over direct. Okay, it's nice to do a mullet, but I don't want to do a 70s mullet because no one wants that. All right, mullets are coming back, but in a modern day mullet. All right, you don't really get many people coming in and saying, give me an old-fashioned haircut. It's like they want something fresh and new. And some things have been around before, but with a modern twist. Like the last 4 years, what's been a big haircut has been the shag. And I know Ira, good mate of mine, who's been doing haircuts on here, you know, and DJ, they've been doing the haircuts like the shag as well. Like so have we. And you know, it's a haircut which has been around for many years, but it's just taken a bit more of a modern approach of it. Okay. So I'm just going to go back through, just make sure we're 100% happy with the over direction. So you over direct everything into the middle. Into the middle. Cool. Right, drop that down. And what's nice about this is because the widest part of anybody's head at the back is where the occipital bone is. So what you're doing, you're removing the weight where it sticks out the most. So where someone's got like an occipital bone or the head shape, it's going to sit really heavy through the middle. So if you're taking it shorter in the middle and then over directing through the center, it's going to create a little bit more softness. You're taking out that weight. It's going to sit flatter here. It's going to sit flatter here, more forgiving. It's going to complement the head shape, as you can see probably on a profile. Where you are is probably better than where I am. Because as a hairdresser, we stand too close sometimes to our haircuts. And I think what's nice is to just do that one step back and have a look and move it around and start to see the shape. But unfortunately, sometimes we are a little bit close, all right? So it's kind of nice where you step back, have a look at the overall silhouette. And if you're happy, then continue. Right, so what you can do now is we're just going to treat that A line in the perimeter. So I don't want the perimeter to be square, so I want it to be a little bit concave, the hairline. All right, so I'm just going to do exactly the same kind of idea in the hairline. I'm just going to take it shorter through the middle. So again, personal choice is how short you take that middle. Just flat onto the skin. And then you can just use my fingers because it's a little bit longer. And then we'll just point your fingers down. All right, so you're going down, so you're creating like an A-line kind of feeling to it. A-line, concave, whatever terminology you want to use. But what we're trying to do here is maintain the corner. So this corner behind the ear, we don't want to cut it off. All right, so it's maintaining, so it's creating that little bit of a mullet. All right, so very wearable, very salon friendly. And where we got a lot of ideas for this haircut last year, I'll be honest, there's a lot of girls who've got like a bob or a lob, yeah, like this length at the back. And what they were doing, they were tucking the hair behind the ears a lot. So, you know, if you've got a lob or a bob, a lot of ladies with bobs end up like tucking their hair behind the ear. So if you look on a profile, when someone tucks their hair behind the ear, it looks like that anyway, because they took all that hair behind the ear and then all the hair's here. So I saw this kind of shape and thought, that's how I'm going to come up with this shape. So I take away the front, and then you still got your bob, all right? And that's how we came up with the kind of the shape, all right, to play around with it. Because there's a lot of girls out there who have got like a bob, and they just go, I hate it on my face. I hate it where it's just falling forward. Well, why don't we just cut it off then? All right, and that's how we came up with this kind of idea. Not for everybody, like we said. But that's what I love about hairdressing. There's something there for everybody. All right, so once you've finished all that, I'll just detail. You know, like these are things like you could get a hairdryer out now if you wanted to. You get a hairdryer out, and you could dry all these sections now. I'd recommend using a flat brush, not a round brush. So like a Denman, a cushion brush, a vent brush, even your comb. You could even use your comb, yeah? Blow dry this nice and flat, your fringe. Blow dry all this front flat. You could even use a flattening iron to get this nice and straight. And then you could detail all the hairline. And then if you wanted to, you could go in here and you could customize if necessary. So look, if I look straight on here now, you can start to see, but if I go horizontal through there, you'll be able to see that concave shape. Because look, there you go. It's shorter in the middle, going longer, longer. All right, so if you wanted to, you could go in there and customize necessary. You could even do a technique called channel cutting to take weight out through the sides if you wanted to. Again, this is all about customizing, putting your own signature on it. All right, so let's check the balance, make sure we're happy with everything. All right, so now it's our final section through the top. Okay, so I'm going to go through the top. And going back to Willie's question, how many sections is there? Well, you've got a section through the front is your fringe. You've got a section through the back to maintain some length and keep it a bit mullety. And then now we're going to create some layers. Okay, so we're going to take that clip out and the clip out the front. This is going to be layered now to create texture and volume. I want to make it more, you know, wearable. I don't want to have it flat. All right, so now what we're going to do is just going to introduce some layering through here. All right, so what sort of layering pattern are we going to do? All right, so we're going to literally go through the radial. Okay, so instead of going through the middle, I'm going to go through the opposite side. So it's pretty obvious to just probably go this way, all right, and layer. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to lay it this way instead, all right? All right, so what we're going to do is literally go straight through the crown, horizontally. We'll just grab that bit at the front, twist that out the way, straight through the front, probably as wide as your comb, all right, or 2 fingers, whatever you prefer. There's a nice, good guideline, okay, all the way through. And then put the head slightly forward if you wish, because we can be on the base, all right? So then head slightly forward, so then all of a sudden you're on the base, so it's 90 on the base. And then how short you take this section is honestly up to you, all right? We want these short, choppy layers through the top, so this is going to go shorter. There isn't a guideline. So for anybody who's watching now, you're like, where's my guide? Do I use the outer edges? No, you literally just make it up. And where you make it up is from your consultation. So she said, I want volume, I want height, I want something funky, I want to go something a bit different, and you can go shorter. All right, so you decide on what sort of length. All right, it all comes down to personal choice. And that's what I love about creativity work, is everybody's got their own kind of different eye on this. All right, so just literally on the base, on a profile, as you can see. And then if I go straight on now, you'll be able to see it's just literally just all square. Okay, so it's a square layer. The A line was cut blunt, but now the top is all textured, so we're point cutting. Okay, again, when you point cut, leave it a little bit away from your fingers. So maybe a ½ an inch away from your fingers, and then you can see the guideline and point cut. Otherwise, you catch your finger, especially on blonde hair. Should have 3 red highlights for the day. All right, and then what you're going to do now, you're just going to over direct everything up to that point. Okay, so I'm going to over direct the hair up to that short point. So I'm coming off the base. All right, so I'm off the base now, and I'm over directing to that first section. So what I'm doing, what this is going to do, it's going to create a cheeky little undercut through the back, just ever so slightly. Okay, so look, when I comb this up, okay, comb this up to that guide. I think everyone can see the guide, nice and clear. Okay, no questions at the moment, so I must be doing okay. All right, so square all the way through. Okay. So this is really good for, like, if you've got a client who's got a bob, yeah, or a mid-length shape, and she doesn't like it on her face, and she's like, I hate it on my face, or I hate it on my ears, and I just want something fresh, then maybe introducing something like a mullet would be different for that client, because she's still got the length at the back, she's still got fun, it's still playful, yeah, but then all of a sudden you've taken all that front off. Basically what it comes down to, you're listening to your client's needs. If the client says, I hate it on my face, you cut it off her face. Right? And then the last bit now is literally through the front. All right, so what we've done one on the base there, and we pulled everything up to that point. So now what we do, we just go horizontal with the front, and we bring that back to that first section we cut. So it's coming off the base. A lot of hair there. Let me just rake all out. You don't have to come off the base. You could bring everything 90, yeah, and take it even shorter. Okay, and then I'll go more on a profile, straight on me, and then you can start to see that I'm just pulling the hair back. And when I pull this back, what's going to happen? I'm going to have an overhang now of the fringe, because this layer now will fall over the fringe. So I will cut that again. So there will be some falling over. But I personally like to have a heavy perimeter. I like my perimeter to be nice and heavy and strong. I want it to be a strong focal point. I don't want the fringe to be feathered or wispy or piecey. All right, those kind of words for me, it's a little bit dated. All right, so I want it to be a bit more heavier, more of a focal point. All right, but again, personal choice. Some of you might like it wispy and more broken up. Okay, so just pull all that back. Okay, to that first section, which is on the right in the middle of the crown. All right, all square. And then what I see look like, if I bring that down, there might be a bit of overhang. And again, that's something that you think, oh, kind of like the overhang. You know, you might lovely drop that down, and then all of a sudden, some of you might go, oh, I like that little piece. You know, and all of a sudden, if you're a colourist, you might start to think, oh, I could emphasise that as a colourist. Oh, I could do something different with that. Because as a hair cutter, yeah, I haven't coloured hair for about 30 years. Last time I coloured hair was for a cap. All right. So, you know, I specialise in cutting. But for me, you know, when Gloria does the hair colours for our collection, you know, we do the haircut first, and then Gloria can start to see like where she wants to emphasise the colour through there. Okay. And then you start to move it around, start to see the shape, see the layering pattern through there. And then if you like any of that, you leave it, or you just literally cut it off. I'm going to cut it off. All right. All that.
Looks good.
You don't like it like that, do you? I knew you were going to say that. It's always a case, isn't it? You give everyone choice, and people are like, I don't like it.
Don't cut it off. Don't do it.
Keep 2 pieces. No, I'm just
Keep
kidding.
2 pieces. All right. But then this is where, you know, if this was dry now, personally, what I would do is blow dry it all and then cut it off. Because then all of a sudden, if there's any movement through here, or like a whirl, I think what's kind of nice then is to blow dry all that and then cut that last section. Say for example, on a profile there, and you see just below, you can see those little wispy bits. Yeah, you could cut all that when it's dry, so you get this line really glass and clean. All right, because if you put a lot of tension on here, a lot of elevation, or you comb it in the wrong direction on the last section, then you might start to see, you know, too much graduation. You might have made a mistake, and you can't rectify it. All right, so on your last section, you can't rectify it. But back in the old days, when I used to teach classic haircuts, back for Tony and Guy, and sometimes when I first started hairdressing, I went to Vidas Sassoon as a student, and you know, they came to the last section for a bob. They'd leave it wet, and then what you would do, you'd blow dry it all, and then you'd cut that last section dry. Yeah, why? To get it absolutely mirrored and perfect. All right. So again, if you don't like those little bits, you just cut them off, and then you're rocking out that little mullet. So you can see where the inspiration was, because if you took it behind here, that's what clients have. Yeah, so what you're doing, you're just taking that away. Again, not for everybody, but it's nice to give clients choice, because if we don't give our clients choice, they'll give us a choice. They'll go somewhere else for a haircut. All right, so I love, you know, you have to turn around and give our clients different ideas of haircutting. Yeah, different shapes, different choice. Because I've never ever had a client come to me in my career saying, I love my hairdresser and I just wanted to come to you for a change. Yeah, it's not. It's usually, you know, I'm just bored. I've had the same haircut and I just want something new and fresh. All right, they want something different. So for me, it's kind of like giving your clients a different choice, giving them a different idea. Okay. All right. I think we're pretty much there. I don't know how we're doing for time. I've just been chatting away.
It's 1:20.
Yeah, we're solid. I mean, you technically have 10 more minutes. We have a giveaway to do. So if you want to do anything else to show some detailing or whatever.
Yeah, whether you want your money's worth.
I think it looks great. I'm just saying,
like
if you're looking at it and want to do anything, go ahead. If not, we can wrap it up, man.
What does people think? What does people think?
Yeah,
People like
Dude, they love it, man. I wish you could see the comments. Gloria, can you see the comments?
I can't.
it.
I'm using this holder thing to give you guys better quality, but
Well,
it blocks like the words.
I appreciate going for stabilizing the comments, and the feedback is amazing, guys.
Okay, guys, if you want to, take a screenshot of off the screen and tag us on Instagram, Edge the Academy, and we'll give you a shout out yourselves.
Or Anthony Edge 74.
Yeah, Anthony Edge 74 or Edge the Academy. Maybe just take a little screenshot, share the love. We'll give you a follow. We'll give you a cheeky little wave if you like the haircut. Because obviously we don't see the comments, so kind of nice to tell us what you thought of the haircut today. It's been an absolute pleasure again, sharing our knowledge and our look from Edge. This is what we do, guys. You know, this is probably one of the stronger haircuts, I'll be honest. Some of you might be watching going, oh, I don't know anybody will have that. So we do commercial haircuts like we showed you earlier. Yeah, so this is the haircut what we took inspiration from. Okay, pretty much good really there. I think we nailed it. So it's shorter fringe. Obviously introducing some layers.
Closer because the ring.
Closer.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the kind of the inspiration there. You can see it's stronger fringe, layers through the top, and then a bit more A-line. And then moving forward to 2020 now, I feel like personally how fashion's moving, I feel like the lens got a bit longer just through there. But like I said before, there's commercial looks in there. You know, some beautiful looks from what we did. This is a shag haircut what we did last year, which is really popular. All right, so, you know, check out our website edge74.com. We have, this is our famous comb, which is our orange comb. We have shears, we have classes. We'd love to see you on one of our virtual hands-on classes in the future. Or when all this is over, we'd love to see you in San Diego for
We're also
one of our
launching
classes.
our collection.
Yeah, we're launching our collection.
June 28th.
June 28th. It's going to be a class. You can cut hair along with us in the kitchen, in the salon, wherever you want. So Willie, over to you for your giveaway.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. That looks amazing.
Yeah?
Looks fantastic. Fantastic, sir. So, as many of you know, we're doing a giveaway. So let's pop this up on the screen. Everybody that's participating in this is giving something away: a set of shark fin shears, a set of Andis clippers, a set of Ergo brushes, and Erica from Pivot Point. Thank you to everyone who partnered. Thank you to Anthony Edge for a killer class, man. Honestly, I want to be careful here, but if you didn't learn something from that, then uh-oh. So text your first and last name to 888-544-7254 to enter for the giveaway.
You go back and the screen's back on you.
No, if you guys want to go, you can. I'll pop on the screen. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks, guys.
Have a great day.
Stay safe.
If you do the same, thank you so much. Tell Tallulah we said hello. All right, everybody. All right. Let's give away some shears, or a toolkit, actually. So text 888-544-7254, your first and last name. The text messages are still rolling in, so I'll wait until that kind of slows down before I announce a winner. You can text as many times as you want, but once you text that, I mean, it's only going to show up once, guys. So I love the enthusiasm, but I also just want you to know that that's the case. So I am still here. The text messages are still rolling in. Hang in. And if you want to go, you can. I will announce it live, but you don't have to stick around. When I announce it, if the person's, we're going to reach out to you and let you know that you won, so you do not have to stick around. All right, here we go. Ready? For those of you who are still with us. Here we go. The winner is, it's the suspense. I swear I'm not doing that on purpose. The winner is Carmisha DeVald. Carmisha DeVald. I do hope that I'm pronouncing that correctly. Carmisha DeVald, congratulations on winning. You can email me at willie@sharkfinshears.com, WILLY@sharkfinshears.com to claim your prize. Congratulations to Carmisha DeVald on winning. And thank you guys for joining us. Have a great day. It was good to see you. And I'll actually be up next doing a men's haircut, so a men's French crop. So feel free to pop on and join us if you want to see some great texturizing techniques and some scissor over comb and scissor over finger techniques. It's all going to be done with shears. So thank you guys. Have a great day. Take care.